Well, recent life events for me, which I and my family have experienced more than once, have led to today's big question. Do you need to go to church to follow Jesus? Well, first of all, understand that going to church, that phrase, has really become important in U.S. American or North American culture for the last several hundred years. Before that, going to a building that was part of an organization that was supported by the funds of the people on a weekly basis in order to worship and be identified as the community was a rarity in most cultures. The word we have in English called church actually comes from a Germanic word or a German word, which really meant a building dedicated to worship. And it's really a bad translation when we see it in the New Testament of Holy Scripture to use the word church. The Greek word that is often translated church is ekklesia, which is an assembly, a gathering of people who are following the way of Jesus, the person of Jesus. And it's when these people get together. Now, in New Testament and early church times, that was basically when they got together to break bread. They may pray. They may read from ancient texts. They may read a letter from one of their leaders or one of the early apostles. But really, it was just gathering together. And they didn't do it necessarily on a weekly basis. In fact, the tradition for many converts to Christianity from Judaism was to get together once a year, maybe once a month, maybe just whenever they could. Do you have to go to church to follow Jesus? The simple answer is no. Now, you won't hear that from a lot of mainline churches. You won't hear that in North America from organizations who want to keep their IRS 501c3 nonprofit status and have paid full-time staff and have buildings and property that need to be paid for and programs and ministries that must be funded. But the truth is, you can never set foot in a church building and still follow Jesus. You can never go to a worship gathering and follow Jesus. In fact, you can follow Jesus as long as you are gathering with others on some sort of regular basis who may be interested in this thing called the way, in this person called Jesus of Nazareth. If you love the outcasts, if you serve the disenfranchised, and if you have a relationship with this God who became a human who is alive today named Jesus, then you are a follower of his. Church buildings mean nothing.